to the Growing Community Show.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Tamara, for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. Well, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, you know how when you get your credit report or you log on to your Credit Karma and that score is either dropping or that credit score is not moving. Well, I help you understand, number one, what is causing your credit not to move or even drop. And then throughout the whole process, I am holding your hand so we can get that credit score up, so we can have great financial literacy practices like setting a budget. And I do all that so you can buy that home, so you can finance that car at a regular car lot, not a buy here, pay here. So I am the credit coach.
Awesome. So as a credit coach, do you only coach individuals? Do you do businesses?
Yeah, I actually do both. And I'm seeing a bigger boom in the businesses because so many small businesses don't know there is a such thing as a business credit score. Mm-hmm. There are small business credit bureaus. And it's important too, and they don't know this, but to keep those funds separate. Don't commingle. Mm-hmm. You know, keep your business over here, your personal over there, and all will be well with your financial statement.
So I like to say, think of your personal life and your personal self as its own entity, and then think of your business and your business self as its own entity, and that would mean, you know, your business has its own credit, its own assets,
Correct.
Its own liabilities, right?
Correct. Its own tax ID number, which is your business, of course. It's social. Mm-hmm. Its own social security number. So everything that's under Platinum Commercial Finance or Kaiser Financial Solutions, which is my business, it just reports to that. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't hurt our personal credit. So yes.
Okay. And as a business coach, I mean, you mentioned that a lot of business owners that you meet seem to not have that type of knowledge to understand that their business should be treated as its own entity and has its own credit. So in your approach, let me just say it this way. What is your approach?
Okay, well, Tamara, coming from the financial services industry, working for major banks, major investment firms in the city, my approach is one that is soft. Because you already, for the most part, you feel maybe a little embarrassed, mm-hmm. maybe a little intimidated. Mm-hmm. So I don't want you to keep your defenses up the whole time because mm-hmm. nothing's going to happen.
Right.
So I need to come across very soft, very empathetic mm-hmm. because, you know, at our age, you know, we've gone through some things in life that have knocked the wind out of us financially. Mm-hmm. And so many of us have had to rebuild or have had to start with nothing and take that and multiply it. Mm-hmm. So I'm not judgmental, I'm very empathetic, and I'm very understanding.
What is the end result? So let's just say, you know, I come to you and you're coaching me from a business standpoint how to get my credit. Why do I need that?
You need that because you want to grow, number one. Mm-hmm. You want to grow your business. And honestly, you can only grow so far with the limited personal credit cards or the limited personal savings. Mm-hmm. And then why would you want to drain your household budget? Because think about it. You're already self-employed, which is another animal in itself. Mm-hmm. There is no regular check. There is no bonus. There is no overtime that you can work. Mm-hmm. And God forbid, once you taste self-employment, nobody wants to go back and work for someone else. You know, you don't.
I agree. I just made a face and my face said, I agree.
No.
And as a business owner myself, one of the things that I say is, you know, there's a certain adrenaline rush that comes with the risk involved.
Correct. And I love it. I love the rush. Ooh, am I going to eat today?
Exactly.
Am I going to have gas today?
Exactly.
No jokes, but no, for real. I love that rush. And man, it's like chasing a high almost, you know, and then when you do close that big deal, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Until you have to need the other one, right? The
Correct.
next one that's coming.
And that's why it's so important to live within your means. And I teach that and I say that, especially as someone who myself is exiting corporate America soon. Mm-hmm. So I'm training, I put myself, or God has put me through this training program, how to live within your means. Because when you work for yourself, if you don't go get it, it don't get got.
That's true. So tying that back into business credit. So, as business owners, because we see the ups and downs, sometimes we need, to get funding, or we need to get supplies for our office. And that's where the business credit comes in, because you need to have that credibility from a third party that allows you, especially in those hard times, to get the leverage that you're looking for, right?
This is true.
Okay. And then from a personal standpoint, Lucy, I mean, we all know about our FICO scores, right? We hear it all over the place. But from a personal standpoint, I mean, what is the impact? Because there are people out there who are thinking it's just a number.
Ooh, and that's so bad to have that mindset. You can think that about age, but don't think that about your credit score. It is not just a number. There are people right now living in this city, and I'm a native of Charlotte, so I can remember when rent was $400, $500. Heck, I've even paid $500 back in the day. Not anymore. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So I say that to say this. I know people that are making $15 an hour, some of them my clients, and they're having to pay $1,300 a month in rent. Now, mind you, that's just your rent off one income of $15 an hour. That's not going to cut it. Meanwhile, my mortgage across the street from you in the university area is $700 flat. So I could buy 2 properties for what you're paying for one. Then on top of that, I've also built equity in my home, which I can turn around and cash that out and buy me a property or invest in it in some kind of way. So not only am I paying less in my home expenses, I'm also building wealth that I can turn around and take and invest in something else. So that's why I say it's not just a number. And there are so many people who just don't know where to go because everybody's doing credit repair. But I don't do credit repair because credit repair says, okay, here's my Credit Karma information. You log in, you fix it. Whereas I am your credit coach. We're going to start with a budget. We need to know, and I say we because we're in this together, we need to know how much you're spending. How much are you spending eating out every day? How much are you spending on those cigarettes? Because that stuff adds up. I'm not trying to take your habits from you, but I want you to know that every choice you make with your money that's bad, that's a choice you just make to stay a renter. And this rent is only going to keep climbing up higher and higher.
Okay. So you're looking at the financial education piece of it.
Absolutely,
right?
Because that's where it starts. Because in certain communities, we were just taught, or I can just speak from my own home, go to college and get a good job. Well, that's not it anymore. That's not the way, because you go to college, you turn around working at a call center making $16 an hour. When you could have just left high school, went straight to that call center making $16 an hour and skipped the whole $40,000 in debt. But I won't get off on that tangent.
No, we're not going to go there. We're just going to introduce it and leave it alone.
Okay. That's food for thought. You do the dishes.
Okay, Miss Lucy.
Yes.
You are an amazing guest.
Well, thank you. I hope I'm not, too much. But...
No, absolutely not. People want to hear. This is good information to hear, and sometimes, you need to break it up a little bit because it's a serious issue.
Yes.
And you don't want to be too serious when you're giving this information.
This is
right?
true.
So let's go back and let's tie that into communities. You're providing financial education, you're providing coaching, you're providing a different perspective. How does that impact the community?
Okay, so that is going to impact the community by breaking up some of these myths and these fears that certain communities have. Certain communities are so fearful of credit, so fearful of having an insurance policy. Why not? And I'm just going to take it the insurance route. I met with my wonderful advisor. Now I'm insured for $200,000. And I love when my insurance person says, well, if you die. It ain't a matter of if I die, it's when I die.
It's going to happen.
And I don't want my children to be strapped with a mortgage payment, a house that's not paid off, and nothing else. So I want to make sure, for example, I have my finances in order so when I do die, they can take that money, split it amongst themselves, and they don't have to worry. How many times have we seen people can't even bury their loved ones? They have to cremate them. Because there's such superstitions in certain communities about finances. Oh, credit is bad. No, it's the user behind the credit. So that's going to help the community by debunking some of these myths, teaching them that just because your mom and dad and grandma never owned, that doesn't have to be your narrative. All we have to do is get and that's one thing about me. I'm after your mindset. I need to know, why do you think it's okay to spend $200 on shoes but not contribute to your 401k? You know,
so what do you say to the people who, listen to this and they're like, well, it's easy for you to say, but I don't have the money. How, I don't have the money, my credit is shot, but that's just because that's my reality right now. What do you say to those people?
I say to those people, I love when they say that to me, because I was raised by a mother who was a high school dropout, 10th grade education, had to make beds. So there was nothing given to me. 6 years ago, I had to leave a marriage with the air mattress and the flat screen TV. Now I own a property, over $40,000 in a 401k, a great job, getting ready to exit corporate America. So I say to those people, let's stop with the excuses. Some of us can be the most excuse-havingest people when other people come to this country, can't speak a lick of English, and they're owning a whole block. So let's, I just can't take the excuses,
right.
The crying. We're going to cry a little bit. Now we got to get up. Because now you look, again, as a Charlotte native, I'm seeing places that I wouldn't dare drive my car down the street at. Now these same communities are worth over $200,000. Why can somebody else pool their money together and other people can't pool their money together to buy even one house? So I say to those people, Tamara, it can be done, but you have to change your mindset about what is your reality.
Right. And so that education you're giving is helping to change that mindset, right? So it's not just, because it's kind of hard for me to say, hey, quit with the excuses if I don't know better, right? If that person doesn't know better. So while you're holding them accountable, you're saying, there's no excuses. There's no crying in radio. There's no excuses. But in the process, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to educate you. That way, you really have no excuses.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And you're doing that to both individuals and business owners.
Correct. And I will say my individuals, because a lot of my clients are millennials making the $15, even some older people that just were never educated. So yes, so stop with the excuses. And most of my individual clients are the ones that have the most excuses and crying stories, which I don't mind. Now I'm going to let you cry and get it all out. But after we cry, let's get to some kind of happy medium. I'm not going to ask you, to stop going to the ABC store every day. I'm going to say, can we limit that?
But every day, though.
Hey, it happens. It happens. Can we at least limit that to 2 times a week? Or if you go every day, here's your budget. Can you stay within that? Because change is hard.
Right. Baby steps.
Baby steps. And you would be surprised at how much, if you don't eat out but 2 times a week, how much that could help you. Delete these apps that let you borrow from your paycheck before you get it. That was the worst thing ever.
Payday loans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing, though, Lucy, is what you're doing has a definite and direct impact, not only in the mindset, but in the community, and the community because it's having an impact on the mindset of people.
Correct. Because, again, being a Charlotte native, I drive through the communities that I grew up in, and some of the same people are still there. I know life is hard. Everybody's had some trauma. Most of us have had some trauma. But the successful people, they take the trauma and they use that to fuel, the reason why I have to get out of this.
Yes, it creates a drive, a sense of urgency to get out into a different situation. Okay. So if there's one tip that you could give our listeners today, from your experience, your expertise, what you do, what would that tip be?
The best tip I can give is to change your mind. Change your mind. Create a reality that you don't have to escape through self-medication or what have you. Change your mind. Okay, starting this year, I'm going to do X, Y, Z. And then we break it down into small baby steps.
Right.
Change your mind. It sounds simple, but it is difficult because if you've been operating a certain way for so long, you think that's it. But I'm telling you guys, it's not. I changed my mind from a victim mentality, impoverished, to now being able to help others see the way out and knowing that you don't have to live check to check. Yes, you can build wealth on that small salary, but you got to change your mind.
Okay, change your mind.
Change it.
So I know, Lucy, you mentioned that you may have an offer for our audience today.
Yes. I would love for you to give me a call. If you are having challenges with your credit, if you are uneducated about credit, how to make a budget, that's what I am here for. No judgment, guys, because I had to start somewhere. My credit wasn't always where it is now. I wasn't always a homeowner, soon to be investment property owner. So let me help you. Give me a call, 704-712-5462. That is my direct line. And if you call me, you will get a 50% off of my credit coaching package. So that is a very good deal. You give me a call. I'll tell you what all it entails and what you can expect from me because I want to help you. So give me a call, 704-712-5462.
And I just want to piggyback and say that what Lucy does as a credit coach, it's not only focused around your credit because there are so many factors that come into play here. And part of it is that personal education piece around finances, right? So when she talks about the budget, she's also helping you think about your finances, change your approach to your finances. The end result will be better credit, but there's so much more information that she has to provide as part of her packages. Well, Lucy, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Yes, I had so much fun.